Hello everyone, welcome to AKS main Shikshna-FREE initiative. This is Santosh Koka. I was unable to upload our videos last 2 days due to our AKS app update issues. Anyhow, it will take more time. So without displaying our answers, I'm just recording with our explanation part. So I will record with the explanation part and also displaying answers once it resolved, right? Okay. So let's see today's subject, social justice question for 14th August 2024. Analyze the effectiveness of the National Education Policy 2020 in promoting social justice through inclusive education. Highlight the gaps and challenges in its implementation. So here we need to focus on our 3 steps before writing answer. Here question reading is we need to spend 1 minute. We need to identify important keywords, question tags, etc. Right? What is the topic here? National Education Policy. Very important topic regarding our social justice or governance, etc. How many parts are there? Here 2 parts are there. First thing is highlight the effectiveness of the scheme through inclusive education in promoting social justice, and also second part is highlight the gaps and challenges, right? So next, what are the important question tags here? Analyze is very important question tag. Here effectiveness, they have asked for effectiveness. Analyze the effectiveness of this policy in promoting social justice through inclusive education, right? Here we need to write positives and negatives regarding our analyze question tag, right? Already we have completed 15 question tags, important question tags in a video. Please check it, very important. Next, highlight the gaps and challenges in its implementation. This is highlight means just we need to mention our important points, right? So next, what are the important keywords here? So effectiveness is first important keyword. So next, anyhow, we need to write some negative parts already mentioned in the question itself. They are asking for gaps and challenges, right? This is negative for our analyzed question tag, right? Then we need to give some needed measures. As usual, we need to give some needed measures here, right? So next, brainstorming. We need to complete our brainstorming within 1 minute. Here we need to recall each and every aspects regarding our topic, right? National Education Policy 2020. Here we need to focus on different reports, examples, recent current affairs issues also we need to include, right? So after writing current affairs introduction also, we need to focus on our static part, when it was started and what are the important objectives, etc. Right? Next, presenting the answer. Here, third step. In the third step, we can complete writing the answer within 6 to 8 minutes if we follow these 2 important steps. Okay, that is our goal, right? Completing within 8 minutes for a short answer. It is the main goal of our answer writing program, right? Let's start our approach for this question. To write a decent introduction, we need to start with a recent current affairs update here, right? Current affairs introduction, we need to write here. Recent developments related to NEP 2020. Already government recently gained attention as the government takes steps to implement its provisions across the country, right? According to our NEP 2020 guidelines, right? With a focus on inclusive education, it is seen as transformative policy compared to previous, right? Already we have 1986 policy we have. We need to mention these type of important keywords here. So replacing the 1986 policy only, NEP 2020 is the first education policy of the 21st century. That is, we need to provide here, and also brief explanation of NEP 2020 also we need to include here, right? So with some background details, we need to focus on providing some aim to achieve 100% gross rate, right? Gross enrollment ratio in preschool to secondary level by 2030. That is very important goal, and it envisions the inclusion of marginalized sections such as ST, SC or OBCs and minorities, etc. Right? So that is the essence of this particular policy, right? That need to be written in our answers, right? Next, we can include some flowchart here. So including flowchart as a presentation part, you can include flowchart in the right side of in between introduction and body part here, right side of the corner, right? That is very important. We can include flowchart including aspects like goals or targets or etc. components or right objectives, right? Next part is body part. In this body part, we need to address the keywords one by one. Here, effectiveness in promoting social justice is one important keyword. So here, NEP 2020 emphasizes universal access to education at all levels, right? So here, according to recent data, we need to mention each and every point. For each and every point, we need to add some justification part. That is, examples or facts or data, right? According to recent data, initiatives like we have Samagra Shiksha, right? Samagra Shiksha scheme is there, have already increased enrollment rates among SC/ST students by 15% in several states. Very, very important. We need to provide these type of examples, and also multilingual education is also one important effectiveness component here, aspect here. So by promoting mother tongue or local language as the medium of instruction until at least grade 5, NEP aims to make education more accessible to children from diverse linguistic backgrounds, right? This is particularly beneficial in some states like Odisha or Chhattisgarh. We need to provide these type of examples, etc., where tribal populations can now receive education in their native languages also, right? Gender inclusive fund is one important thing. This fund is expected to support state governments in implementation or implementing gender focused initiatives or contributing to higher female literacy rates, are particularly in rural areas especially, right? Very, very important point. Gender inclusion fund also is there. Next, curriculum reforms also very, very important criteria. The revised curriculum also emphasizes the importance of inclusive practices, helping students understand and respect diversity. Here we have our Indian cultural diversity or linguistic diversity. We need to follow our curriculum reforms. Here NEP 2020 also proposes a curriculum that is free from biases and stereotypes. That is the main essence of our NEP 2020. Next thing is our second part, that is highlight the gaps and challenges in its implementation, right? Gaps and challenges in its implementation. First important thing is lack of infrastructure. Many rural and remote areas still lack the necessary infrastructure, right? So to implement these changes proposed by NEP, right? For instance, we can take the absence of basic facilities like electricity, no power in some remote areas, and also especially internet connectivity, right? So that is also comes under digital divide, etc. In schools hampers the policies digital education goals, right? So next, teacher training also one important challenge here, right? Success of NEP hinges on the readiness of teachers, especially to embrace new pedagogical approaches, right? Here, however, there is a significant gap in teacher training, particularly in handling inclusive classrooms that cater to diverse needs, especially this is in the form of digital education. These after COVID-19 especially, they have already focused on some online classes, etc., right? So that needs to be done here, that lack so much gaps here. Next, digital divide also one important thing. The shift towards online education accelerated by COVID-19 pandemic has highlighted the stark digital divide in India, right? That is the main important thing. After COVID-19 only, we have shifting to the digital technology, right? Students from economically weaker sections, especially in rural areas, facing these type of challenges in accessing digital resources, right? Which undermines the inclusivity aspect. Whatever we have target inclusivity, right? Inclusive education. These type of rural students or remote area students are missing, right? Next important thing is budgetary constraints. That is very, very important, especially in India. When compared to Norwegian countries like Norway or Finland, every time Finland is first important country in the happiness index, right? Why? Because they are doing best in health, education, employment, etc., living standards and all, right? That is the case here. When compared to India as a developing country, here education sectors or health budget is very, very less compared to them, right? That is very, very important here. Education sector's budget allocation remains lower than the recommended 6% GDP. Very, very important step. We need to give some data here regarding budgetary constraints also, right? Next, third part not mentioned in the question, but we need to fulfill or complete fully our particular structure, right? That's why we need to provide needed measures, right? Some solutions to the problems before conclusion, right? Strengthening infrastructure is very, very important. Whatever we said in challenges, we need to give some problems, solutions to the problems, right? The government must prioritize infrastructure development here, ensuring that every school, particularly in rural or tribal, we need to focus on rural and tribal areas equipped with basic facilities and digital tools. Capacity building for teachers also. Here, teacher training programs are equipping teachers with skills to manage inclusive classrooms or digital technology. We need to provide all these. This includes training on using technology effectively and addressing the diverse needs of students especially, right? Next, bridging the digital divide. Already we have mentioned in the challenges part, digital divide. We need to decrease the digital divide here to make online education accessible to all. The government should invest in affordable internet services, right? Internet services and provide devices to students from economically weaker sections in the remote or rural or tribal areas, right? Next, monitoring and accountability is very, very important here. Monitoring, establishing robust monitoring mechanisms is essential to track our progress to especially NEP 2020 implementation. Regular auditing or feedback loops will ensure that the policy's objectives, right? That is the case here. We need to provide all the information, just one point and half exam, right? 1.5 line is enough for giving justification for 1 point, right? Each and every sub in the under side heading, we need to provide some points, right? So in that, we need to provide 1 point and half line exam, right? That is enough for justification part, right? So finally, we need to conclude with a 1 to 1.5 line, right? Here NEP 2020, if we follow above measures, NEP 2020 could serve as a cornerstone for an equitable and inclusive education system that empowers every child irrespective of their socio-economical background. Or we can connect it with our SDG 4, important education related, right? Very, very important. Sustainable Development Goal 4, right? So this is the perfect structure to this question. Effectiveness of the National Education Policy 2020. So many aspirants written answer, but I am unable to see your answers to display in our video because app is updating, right? So in the process, memory is backing up. That is the issue. So please cooperate 1 or 2 days. So next, coming to main section, day 41, question for 15th August 2024. Examine the impact of the Jal Jeevan Mission on rural water supply in India. What are the key bottlenecks and how can they be overcome to achieve universal coverage? That is related to our subject governance. Very, very important topic. Jal Jeevan Mission will be asked in the upcoming examinations. Be focused on that. Write your answers and upload in your app. I will evaluate in the coming 2 days. Okay, don't worry. So thank you very much. All the very best.